Good morning, angels. It's actually 7 a.m. on Monday, so happy Monday. And I am putting together a basket party for a existing hostess that's hosted for me for probably about 2 years now. And I love to share how I meet people because it's very significant for you guys to see how many different ways there really are to meet different types of people in your business. And so Isis is her name, and she used to work at Kohl's. And one day I was shopping with my mom, who's also a consultant, and she was asking me, my mom was saying, "Hey, Joss, how do you get so many basket parties and parties booked and this and that?" And I said, "Well, I meet people everywhere I go, Mom." And she's like, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, like, for instance, we're in line at Kohl's right now." So I showed her physically what I do. And what I did is I pulled out, after she rung me up, I said, "Thank you so much. You were such great service." And I said, here's a little treat on me. And I pulled out the Warmer of the Month flyer with a little sample on it. And just assuming she knew what Scentsy was, and she actually did. Sometimes they don't, and they go, "Oh, what's this?" But this time she goes, "Oh my gosh, Scentsy! I love Scentsy." And I said, "Do you do? Who's your consultant?" So again, I assumed she had a consultant to start the conversation. I didn't ask her a question of, "Do you have a consultant?" because then she can just say yes or no, which kind of closes off the communication process, like lets you know where you kind of get stumped where to go from there. But if you say, "Who's your consultant?" and she'll have to say, "I don't have one," or, so and so. So I said, "Oh my gosh, well, this is our flyer and our Warm of the Month, and we actually have some great new products in, and I'd love for you to share them with your coworkers and friends and family." And she goes, "Oh, how will I do that?" So she asked me the question, and of course I answered. So how am I going to do that, everyone? She's going to have a party, right? So she did what most people do. "Oh, I work so much, I don't know what my schedule is." So I said, "Well, that's simple and totally understandable. Let's do a basket party." So, and I'm old school, I guess now. I realize that I'm becoming seasoned. So I still call it a basket party, but it's really a bag. And, and you can do pouch parties if you want. I'm kind of anal. I want them to have every category, because if they like just romance, they can just pull out the romance. If they like just, the fall scents or whatever, they can just pull that out. But anyways, that's just me. That's the beauty of this business, is you could decide what you prefer to give your hostesses. In my almost 5 years, my experience, the more they physically see and smell, the more likely they are able to choose what they need appropriately. So that's just me. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. You guys may have had different experiences. What I'm doing is making sure all my order forms have my stamp on the back, because they are going to have, they're going to give this copy to their client that's purchasing, so they can contact me if they have any questions, if there's there's anything else they need to order later on, all the different things. I always put one of these in here just so they can write their little list and have it, and then if they give it to me, then I can know what their wish list is as a client. And then of course there's a spot here, so just make sure that you stamp that or label that. I am now putting in this personal flyer. I know it's in the catalog, I'm fully aware, but this is just more of an advertisement to kind of push them to go, what are these diffusers about? Because this is like featured just the diffusers and oils. So that's just my personal choice. Again, it's up to you guys what you want, what you would like to do. So I just wanted to actually make this video because I wanted to make sure you guys knew how important it is to not only go through your testers before you send off a basket and know exactly how many are in there, and no matter however you choose, if you try to give them all or if you choose to just give them a pouch party, just so you can have an idea if any are missing when they come back. Always important to check the bag when it comes back, So, if there's any missing, because that's your business, that's money. If one tester's gone, you're gonna have to spend $150 just to get the one, even though it comes with 5. But you may right now only have one set of testers. So, anyways, that's one step, and then I will tell you that I wasn't big on later on in the business that giving checkout forms. And because I would start to get regular hostesses, and I started to say, well, I trust them. So to me, I felt like there was no reason to really check it out because I knew them and they're my clients and my hostesses. But here's another concept that came up recently in my business. The other concept is when you have a lot of baskets out, or you just have a ton of things going on, it's very easy to forget that you have a basket out. So these checkout forms that I'm talking about, which I'm going to have to find my checkout form for you guys, because I have a little booklet that I give them. So I make this little like hostess handbook, and personally, the front of my handbook is the front of a spotlight that actually my family and I were on, because that's good marketing. We were in the spotlight back in 2011 when we joined, and so that's just showing them, you know what, I've done some things that the company is proud of, and my mind is always thinking, them joining one day. So I want them to know they're in good hands, and that I know what I'm doing. And in the beginning, I didn't. But as I, even though I was brand new, I was doing something right, because the company was recognizing it. So anything that you can to give your client and hostess some confidence in you as a business owner, do it. Don't think it's bragging. Don't think it's boasting or whatever, being conceited or whatever, arrogant. You're just giving them resources and references that you know what you're doing, and that you are good, somebody that they can trust as a business owner. So that's my take on it. People will view it differently. That's not in your control, but you want to make sure that you are giving them some references of why they should choose you as a consultant or a hostess. So that's my 2 cents on that. If you need a reference of a checkout form, I'll show you mine, but you can make your own up. I did, and I can, there's my wish list, hostess. So I have a little file here of all my different, forms that I need for my business. So here's mine. And what it has is the basket checkout form, and it says name, phone, address, email, checkout date, return date. And then I have a little value of a bag broken down. So if I give them a plug-in, if I give them a mid-size warmer, or if I give them a full-size warmer, depending on if they're going to be sitting this in like an office, I add up the value so they can visually see that this is a business and this is my business that I've invested in. So please take care of my bag and my products. And it's just an unspoken, gesture. So it's checked off. They visually see it. So they will take extra care. And everything's about the mind. Everything's psychology. So if you're just giving these subliminal messages of like, hey, please take care of my stuff, they will. I agree to return the basket and all its contents. As listed to the right to my Scentsy consultant, Jessica Markowitz, by the stated return date. So sign, date, and then consultant signature. And then I have, as a hostess, you assume responsibility for the basket, bag, and its contents. Please minimize any damage. Any damage, please keep samples out of the sun and away from the heat. Do not leave in car, please. Please call, text me anytime with any questions. And I have my phone number. And then these items are meant to be used, passed out, and not returned. Although, if not used, I would appreciate their return. So I have a little asterisk right here that shows which ones those are, because I don't want them to think that the testers are not to be returned. So I have everything that could be possibly in the basket, and then I check off what's in there. So I may not put everything that time. So this needs to actually be updated because we've changed our products since then. But what I'll do is just white it out and write whatever I have in there. And then I know everything that's gone. So if I put a plug-in in there, And somebody calls me the same day that I'm dropping this basket off, and they say, hey Jess, do you happen to have a Baby Tux plug-in? And I have the Baby Tux plug-in, but it's out in a basket. I'll be able to go, if I don't have this listed, I might go, oh my gosh, and think I'm crazy. I know I have a Baby Tux plug-in. Where is it? But this will say, oh, it's out in a basket. So I can say to my client, yes, I do, but I won't be able to deliver it until this date, which would represent the date that after I receive this plug-in back. Make sense? Okay, so that's my biggest tips for right now. When I will be doing a hostess coaching for basket parties. It's been a while since I've done one. I've learned a lot since I've done my last training on hostess coaching. So obviously I want to share all that with you guys. And please always, always, always add your suggestions and your experience below, because, I'm only one person and I'm only having my own experiences. So if you have any suggestions or tips or whatever, or questions, you can just post it below and I'd be happy to help. Now, please, I'm just saying this now, that sometimes I don't get emails that somebody's commented on these YouTube videos. So if for some reason I don't respond, you're welcome to email me at my email address, which I've listed in the description. Okay? So I hope this is helpful. And get those basket parties out there, or bag parties, or pouch parties, or whatever you choose to use or call them. These are our little employees. I'm busy packaging fundraising stuff today, and so this lady's going to be out there, marketing the company for me and the brand and the products to hopefully sell some products. And so she's my helper. That's what a hostess is. They're helping me introduce the products to other people and make the sales. And in return, they get the rewards for it. So because if they choose not to be a consultant, they at least get rewarded by getting free and half off stuff. So that's basically why they get rewards. If you're not going to make money off of it by selling it, then at least you get some free stuff and some half off items. So that's the way you always want to look at it. Like if you choose not to become a consultant, which is the best benefit, the next best is becoming a hostess. So at least from getting the sales and marketing the products, you will at least get some free and half off items. So that's a good way to approach it if you're kind of like don't know how to talk to your host. Okay, just a preview of how I talk to my host. All right, have a great and sensational day, and I'm sure you're going to be hearing a lot more from me. You're probably going to get sick of me, but I have a lot to share, and like I shared on my last one, the whole typing thing and even this thing, it just hurts my hands. So I'd rather you guys just hear it from me. And I think it makes you hopefully feel like you know me a little bit better. And it's just like you're getting coached right here in my office with me. Okay? All right. Have a sensational day. Bye-bye.